Hello, everyone, and welcome to ISCO USA Part 4. I can't believe it. The month has gone so quickly, and I'm really happy to see to be able to present Margot Rossi, who's done plenty of webinars before. They're always amazing. I always love having you on New Energy Work, Margot. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Cliff. It's really lovely to be back. I feel like I'm back in the fold somehow.
Brilliant. Okay, great. So please say hi in the chat. We've already got quite a good international group there. I'm going to just go through some of the admin stuff first, because I don't want to spoil the atmosphere at the end of the webinar, because I've got a feeling I'm going to be so blissed out at the end, I won't want to do any of this stuff. So I'm just going to do some background stuff. Just give me 2 minutes just to show these slides. Okay, so as I said, we've got Margot Rossi here for USA number 4. This whole program has been put together in cooperation with the AOBTA, and real big thanks especially to Karen Elisa. I can see she's on the chat there for all the work she's done helping us set it up. It's been great. We've got well over 600 people registered just on the live webinars now, which is amazing. Absolutely great. So I just wanted a quick poll. I know not everyone's arrived yet, because people tend to arrive in the first 5 minutes, but just for those of you who have arrived, could you just quickly let me know whether you're a premium member of New Energy Work, professional member, one of the team, or a free member, or you're not sure, or you're not a member? Just wondered if you could just let us know, so we know what kind of proportion of people are already New Energy Work subscribers. Wow, look at this. Okay. Very good. Okay, cool. Look at this. We've got almost half so far who have voted are actually already subscribed members. So it's time for me to say a big thank you to you, because this month the New Energy Work subscribers have funded this whole ISCO. It's really important for us because we can get international teachers in to work with us. It's just really great to be able to share the love kind of thing worldwide. So we put on a few free events through the year that are funded by New Energy Work subscribers, but they're also funded by donors who have contributed. So this is just a plea. We do have rather large bills because we have thousands of people on our online platform, and we have hundreds of people who sign up for these webinars. So if you're not a subscriber, please have a look at the email that comes with the replay. And if you can help us out, it would be lovely if you could just make even a small donation towards our costs. It really does help us a lot to keep everything going with New Energy Work. Okay, so here we are. That's the that's the admin over. Now we can get down to the webinar. So yes, here we are. We've got Margot back. She's an acupuncturist, an Asian medicine practitioner, health educator, and movement instructor. We were just having a talk, weren't we, about acupuncture and how it tends to be very much up in the head and how important it is to get into the body. 30 years experience in Asian medicine, trained in the USA and China. And I already know this, you like to cultivate awareness of the mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. So it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking some time and spending some time with us today.
Oh, I am so happy to be here. And I also want to say thank you to all of the members, because I was just telling Cliff when we were checking in earlier how this platform kind of saved my life and keeps watering my roots here to be with you all and to learn from the other lovely people who come on here to share their wisdom and expertise with us. So I just wanted to really thank you. I'm so grateful, and I love being here, and I'll come back anytime.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah, it's just really been a wonderful platform.
Great.
To keep things alive in the profession, but also personally, it was a real lifesaver during the pandemic. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, so this is an unusual presentation because there's no slides from now on in. And I've got the hardest job in the world. I've got to lie down and have an amazing session with you, Margot, which is I was just saying to Dinah earlier on, this is just got such a hard job, you know. So yeah, please.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it. You wanted to do a very experiential and guided session through the for this for this session.
Yeah. Cliff, would this be a good time just to kind of give a little outline?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just maybe to give us an idea of what to expect in the next hour. I already warned everyone that they should be able to lie down.
Yeah, if that's possible, that would be preferable.
Yeah.
And if it's not possible, then just listen along and imagine yourself doing the movements. Okay. Because or just watch Cliff or watch me. We have bodies speak to bodies, so even if your body isn't able to do some of the things, you'll be resonating at some level with what's happening. Yeah, so we're going to be exploring the importance of coming to know oneself as a practitioner so that we can be guides or examples for the clients who come to see us, to help them come to know themselves better. So we have to start with ourselves, of course, we all know that. And we'll be doing that today through a couple of different practices. One is the Dao Yin therapeutic movement, where we will be lying down and doing some guided movement. The other is something that I learned also during the pandemic from a clinical psychologist and Buddhist practitioner named Lawrence Ladden. Mm-hmm. You may have heard me and Nick Pohl speak of him. Yeah. Cliff, are you familiar with
I've heard the name, yes, yeah.
So Lawrence and his partner, Jale, created something that they're calling contemplative group dynamics. And it's a beautiful mindfulness practice that's body-based, but you share what you notice out loud. And even though we're not together, Cliff and I can't hear from y'all directly, but you can hear from yourself directly by speaking aloud into the space that you're in. So I hope you have a private space that you'll feel comfortable to, be able to literally hear yourself as you go through this practice of noticing. Before we get into that, I have a poll and also a poem to share with you that speaks to this importance of us being able to tune into ourselves. So that's kind of a mini outline of where we're headed here.
Did you want to ask a poll?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Could you just remind me what question was, and I'll just put it up for you.
Oh, yeah. What was the question? The question was, I think if you have some sort of practice.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes. Do you already have a mindfulness practice, wasn't it?
Yeah, or any kind of self-care, any way of tuning into yourself. Okay, yeah. Like, how do you check?
That's right. Yeah.
How do you check in?
And do you do it every day?
Yeah, and then how often do you do it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
And no, there's no judgment. No problem. We're just curious to know.
Yeah.
As Cliff mentioned earlier, having taught acupuncture for many, many years in an acupuncture college, we acupuncturists tend to be kind of cerebral. And many of us don't have a self-care practice. So I know the shiatsu practitioners that I know, I really envy you all. I think you're all brilliant because you do live your medicine.
It's built in, isn't it? It's built into our whole thing. We have to do it because, like I say, it's not just a question of just pressing. It's like you can't just go. It's a whole body thing. Okay, look, this is pretty awesome. We've got like 80% nearly that they do it every day, and another 16% every few days. So you've got a vast majority there. 90, up in the 90% do it like daily or every few days. So that's pretty consistent.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm thrilled to see every few weeks.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Oh, thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Yeah, it's just helpful to know. I also don't want to, belabor the point of how important it is for self-care. Um, so during the pandemic, um, that was such a rapid change, drastic and rapid change to all our lives. And now we're kind of living through the fallout of that and reorganize here in the States. Our president is declaring that the pandemic is over in May.
Right.
He's just wave a wand and it's done. But it's not. I mean, it's still, that ripple effect is going to continue probably, for decades, maybe the rest of our lives for some of us. So that seems like it has been a real calling to who are we? Who are you? Who am I? What am I doing? And as one of my practices to get me through this difficult time has been rereading Dante's Divine Comedy, which is so interesting that he called it a comedy. And the first book in that is the book on the Inferno, so hell, the realms of hell. And one thing he seems to be discovering, so this is new. I read it many years ago when I was in my 20s, and now I'm reading it again, and I'm seeing new things in it now. But it seems very clear that an aspect of hell is that we're not able to see who we are, or we're not able to fully be who we are. Or maybe we were misunderstood in who we were in our lifetime. And that just seemed, now it's really like piercing my heart to read Dante's journey through that realm and reflecting on my own self, like, wow, not knowing who I am really is the primary cause of my suffering in my life. And not being who I am is also the case. And I don't know, Cliff, I think just to take a moment and reflect on that, especially with our clients, sometimes we can see them so clearly in some ways, and they can't see themselves. That's to me especially true in the beauty of seeing people. You see their beauty and they can't see it themselves.
I tell you what, I think I was just saying how Kamala's presentation about, I really appreciated that. And it's so close to clean language. Diane and I were talking about it today. It's so close. So we can't wait to get, you guys together, because you have so much to get in common. But I was just using some of her techniques, and I did one particular session about this whole feeling comfortable in yourself and feeling comfort in yourself. And it was so profound with someone who was giving themselves such a hard time. And I think you're right, just being able to reflect back the positive aspects, the spiritual aspects of the person can be such a powerful thing. That's so much stronger than any, fiddly technique or this point or whatever. It's just so fundamental, as a reflection. Well, that's a recent experience I've had, the very strong experience of that, exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, when we have it in ourselves, with ourselves, that really amps it up, because nobody's telling us that. It's coming from within. So that's sort of the preface for what we're doing today. Dao Yin, the character for Dao Yin basically translates as being able to see oneself, to measure oneself, to see where our boundary lines are, and then stretch beyond them. And what do we discover when we do that? So it's a very metaphorical practice. It's a physical practice, but it's also a metaphysical practice. And then the group dynamic practice is a reminder that we're all connected, because bodies talk to bodies, and our body is always talking to us. We're very good at not listening or not hearing it, or wanting to hear something that it's not actually saying. So those are two things we'll be working with today. I just want to pause. Is this a good time to pause? If there are
Um,
questions, Cliff, is that
yeah,
okay?
you can do.
Ask
Yeah, if there are
her?
any questions. So the thing is, we've got Shakura on the chat monitoring, and so if there are any
Okay.
questions, you can just put them up as a question. It helps if you put a question mark after the end of it, and then she will spot it
Yes.
and mark it up as a question. But we haven't got any questions so far, so I would just carry on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I do want, even though it's not, I can't hear you. I do want you to feel like you're in the
And
conversation.
they can always
with
post
us.
on the chat, by the way, of course. That's the other thing. If there's anything they want to just
Yes.
share. Yeah.
Yes, that'll be great. We definitely want to hear from you. So just continuing on this idea of the importance of reflection, another thing that I've been exploring the last 3 years is chapter 39 of the Suwen, where the Yellow Emperor is asking Chipo about, what does it take to be a good practitioner of the medicine? And Chibo says, well, first of all, you have to be able to connect to heaven, to the universe. So we're going to do a little tune in with that. The next is reflecting on our history. So I think in some ways we can say he's speaking of reflecting on the wisdom of the ancients and bringing that forward into the present moment. So the teachings of the ancient wise ones and bringing it into the present. But I also think it has something to do with being able to reconcile our own past, like the things that occurred in our own lives in the past and the wisdom that we can bring forward to the present from those experiences. And then the third one is knowing who you are, knowing who we are. So those are kind of like 3 pillars of being a good practitioner. There's nothing, he says, he's not saying anything about technique or points or he's talking about our own relationship to the universe, to our history, and to ourselves.
And that links so well with Michael's presentation last on part 2. Yeah, it was all about that, all from the Yellow Empress, all the ecology. It's the ecology, of the body and all the rest of it.
Yeah. And Cliff, people who are listening today, if they missed those conversations, they can plug into
Absolutely,
them.
yeah, because we've constructed, if you don't know already, which I'm sure you probably do, but I'll just say we are putting it all together in an online course, which is open access, funded by the wonderful members of New Energy Work. I want to say that again. So it's all an online course, which there's a link to it in the email that comes out with this video recording that will come automatically to you. So do check it out. Dinah and I will be finishing it off this week because we'll be doing the quizzes for your presentation. You'll be able to see all of the past presentations. There's extra resources in there, and there's quizzes, so you can claim your continuing ed points if you'd like to do that. So that's how it works.
Super. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Cliff. So before we do our tune in to heaven and earth, I'm going to read you a little poem. This is the other thing I've gotten into during the pandemic, has been poetry. And this poem comes from David White, who's a UK poet, and it's called Start Close In. So before we begin, if you want to just stretch, I don't know if you've been sitting in a chair or couch or on the floor, if you just want to kind of stretch your legs for a moment, and then we can more comfortably settle back down for the poem. Yeah, so just tuning in that you're supported by the ground and heaven is all around you. And we're all here together. So happy to be here. Start close in. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way to begin the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear that can really listen to another. I'm going to read that again. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear that really can listen to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. So it's interesting. What is that step we don't want to take toward getting to know ourselves? It's there and we can explore it. That's the cool thing. We can be curious about it. Cliff, did you have anything to
well,
say?
it just reminds me so much of the Tao Te Ching, the whole thing, 10,000 mile journey starts with a single step. We have got a question though, and I think it was straight after you said the thing about connecting with the heaven, and Linda just wondered about connecting to Earth, and it's just interesting you just did that, actually connecting to Earth. And I just wondered if you've got any comments about that.
Yeah, we're going. Thank you for noticing that. We're just about to do that.
Okay, great.
So are y'all up for it? We can start our movement practice. I think.
This is where we can lie down, is it?
Yes, if you would like to lie down
for that.
now.
I've got my special lying down camera ready.
I love that. Yeah, if you want to lie down, please do. We're going to do a tune into heaven and earth to start. If you prefer to be sitting for that tune in and then transition to lying down, you could do that too. So it just depends. If you're very comfortable lying down, then you can begin now. And do make yourself comfortable, right? This is about being comfortable. So if you need a pillow behind your head, if you need some support behind your knees, if you would rather stand your feet with your knees bent, if that's more comfortable on your back, you could do that. And you can always change position if you need to be comfortable. The comfort is important. We want you to be able to settle into the experience. So however you position yourself, there's one simple truth here. Well, there are a few, but one of the simple truths here is that we are all being supported by the ground. So let's just tune in to the ground, to the earth. I'm making an assumption here that the earth beneath you in this moment is stable and steady. It's reliable. You can feel it. You could grasp it. It's material and substantial. Fairly solid and steady. And these aspects of earth are also within us too. And the earth is here for us 24/7, supporting us and nourishing us. As you rest here on the ground, feeling your contact, feeling the pressure of the ground, as it supports you. Another truth is your breathing. And through the breathing, we connect to air, to heaven, ungraspable, etheric, changeable, full of possibilities. And these are aspects of ourselves too. And another truth is here you are. Here you are between heaven and earth, embodying the essence of earth and heaven. And as you're resting here, you might begin to notice as you turn your attention to yourself, maybe sensation or thoughts or emotions or an image, memory, maybe even a dream you might have had. So just noticing what's here for you right now. What's here for you? A good place to start is to notice any sensations that you're aware of. Just start with the thing close in. What sensation might be very much calling your attention? And here you can say out loud into your space if you want. What sensation might be calling your attention? Whereabouts exactly is that sensation? And how would you describe it with some adjectives? Tight, soft, vibrating, tingling, sharp, dull, achy, etc. Whereabouts is it, and what kind of sensation is that?
I'm getting mainly a feeling in the chest here, but it's interesting because it wasn't so much a physical texture; it was more like a sort of thought, almost like a thought or an emotion. Sort of.
Thank you, Cliff. Yeah, so whatever it is for you, you can explore it if you know some clean language. If that sensation has a color or a sound, a size or a shape. If you were to describe it to someone else, what words might come? And maybe the words don't come. You just stay with whatever you're experiencing. And notice if it's pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. What your response to it is, if it's something you want more of or less of, or you're neutral to it. What kind of sensation is that? And is there anything else about that sensation or that part of you? And just check in if there's anything that sensation or place would like to have happen. Maybe that might be a movement or a breath, or maybe there's a request there. And just speak it aloud into your space so you can hear it. You can hear your body talking to you.
I felt I wanted to have it spread everywhere, but as I just thought of wanting to do that, it did it anyway, so it spread out everywhere.
Yes. Great. Yes. That is something very curious that seems to happen from this process is when we just invite our attention to that space, the body takes care of itself sometimes. Okay, so we'll come back to this practice. And maybe if you didn't speak into the space, because sometimes even that invitation, it might be the step we don't want to take to speak into the space. You'll have another opportunity if you want to check it out after we do a little Dao Yin. Okay, so just feel into your legs and notice if there's a movement that, yes, that wants to happen, maybe rolling the legs in and out, or maybe you feel like hugging your knees to your chest or stretching your legs out up in the air. Whatever feels right to you. We're going to make our way. Yes, take your time. We'll make our way to standing the feet. Yes, and bending the knees. So just making that transition when you're ready. So lying down, if you've been sitting, come and rest on the ground, lying down. And we'll bend the knees and stand the feet.
Like this, you mean?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Cliff. Cliff is our excellent model
I'm trying my
today.
best.
Appreciate it. You're doing a great job. Yes, thank you in the chat. Yes, little noises might come up. This is all spontaneous, allowing what's spontaneous to emerge, getting to know yourself and being yours, giving yourself permission to be yourself for sure. Okay, what shall we do with the arms here? Let's take our arms open out to the side shoulder level, if that's okay for you. And if not, then find the position with your arms that does work for you. And we're going to come to cross the right leg over the left leg so that the thighs are touching. Yes, right leg over the left with the thighs touching. Again, if that's okay for you. If it's not, you can just keep both feet standing. So the right leg is crossed over the left. The left foot is standing on the floor. And we can bend maybe the right arm so that the palm of the right hand is cradling the back of the skull. Is it possible to cradle the back of your head in the palm of your right hand? Yes, and just as Cliff demonstrated, letting the elbow drop toward the ground as much as possible. Okay, and the left arm is out to the side, to the left. And here you are, resting on the ground, breathing. When you come around to your next exhalation, let your knees drop toward the ground to the left. Any amount, it doesn't matter how far you go, it's a twist. Yes, and you can exhale out your mouth if you want. And then when you come to inhale, push with the left leg to push you back to that starting position. So let the right leg be nice and heavy as you come back. Good. And then just keep going. Exhale, let the knees drop to the left. Exhaling down and then slowly inhaling, push yourself back up. Use the strength of that lower leg to push you back. And just keep going like that. As you exhale, coming into the twist, let your right arm and shoulder blade release toward the ground as much as they can. And then inhale, come back up when you're ready. And as you keep going, notice if your head wants to turn to the left or to the right. As you exhale and drop the knees to the left, does your head want to go left or right? Let it go. And then inhale, come back and let your head come back to neutral. Just keep exploring like that. You're noticing where you feel the stretch in your body. As you take that twist, you're letting that right arm release back toward the ground. Right shoulder blade release. Yes. And then inhale, come back. How are you doing, Cliff?
Yeah, it's really funny because I thought my head would want to go to the right, but it doesn't. It wants to go this way.
Wants to go to the left. Yep. Keep dropping that right arm back. It's kind of like an
It's
anchor.
surprisingly strong, actually. You wouldn't think it's so strong.
And interesting, isn't it? Okay, when y'all come back on that next inhalation, sip a little more air and hold it in as you make the twist. Hold the breath in as you make the twist with the knees and the head, releasing that right arm back. And when you get as far as you can go, exhale and relax into the twist. Release the right arm. Yeah. And then inhale, come back. Come back to standing that left foot. And then again, sip a little more air to really fill up your lungs, create some tension as you hold that breath and make the twist. Knees to the left and your head turning whichever way you want. Release that right arm back. And then when you get as far as you can go, exhale and release. See if you get a little more twist and then come back. And this time, just let the air rush out your mouth as you flop into the twist. It's fine if your right arm comes off the ground. Good. Yeah, just exhale, flop into the twist with your knees and your head. And then inhale, come back. And flop one more time.
What, just let it go like this? You mean just flop it?
Yep, just flop it. You want to try it again? Inhale.
I need to do more flopping. It wasn't floppy enough.
Yes, do as much flopping as you want.
Just let go, just let go.
Exactly. Just let it, there you go. Beautiful. Just let it go. Breathe in, coming back, and then exhale out the mouth. Yeah, let it go. Just be yourself. Just let whatever happens, happens. Lovely. Come on back and uncross your legs and release your right arm from behind your head. And if it's comfortable to stretch your legs out long, stretch them out and just notice again. What do you notice? You might notice your left side might feel different than your right, or
my right side feels much warmer, and I can feel it in the side of my face, funny enough, mostly. And then down, it feels like my right leg is a lot longer, and it feels like this is all warm.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, so just tuning into the sensation that's most obvious to you. And again, how would you describe it? That was beautiful. So Cliff said longer, warmer, just these little adjectives. How would you describe the sensation?
My poor old left side feels really left out. It's kind of going, what about me?
We're coming for you, left side. Thank you, James, for your comment. Thank you. Yes, kidney loosening, juicy. Okay. Ah, got your message, Donna. All right, let's try the other side, shall we?
Really
So
that. I was hoping you were going to say that.
before we move into it, again, just notice if there's any movement in your body that your legs or your arms or your head would like to make. Anything in response to doing one side. Thank you, Karen and Lisa. Yeah, just make whatever movement. We're going to find ourselves back with the feet standing and the knees bent. But take your time before we get there, just to explore if there's any movement that would like to happen, or a breath. Yes. And when you're ready, stand your feet. And you already know what to do. Left leg crosses over the right with the thighs touching. Exactly. And maybe you remember what to do with the arms. The left palm cradles the back of the head this time, and the right arm is out level with the shoulder if possible. And here we're letting the left arm release as best it can toward the ground. We'll just start with the first step, and that's just being here. Feel this mudra, this orientation of the body, and you're breathing, and you're supported by the ground. Yeah. Whenever you're ready. On an exhalation, let the knees drop to the right this time. And notice any sensation through that left side. Inhale, you're going to use the right leg this time to push you back. And just go a few times, just like that, nice and easy. Exhaling, twisting, drawing the knees to the right, letting that left arm release back toward the ground. And inhaling, let your left leg be nice and heavy and use the right leg to push you back. The lower leg pushes you back as you inhale. This time as you exhale into the twist to the right with the knees, what would you like to do with your head? Or really, it's what would your head like to do? It's not really what you would like to do with it. Where does your head want to go?
Well,
and you can
this
experiment.
is the opposite. It wants to go to the left. What does that mean?
Well, that's a discussion for another time. Yeah, so just play with that. Exhaling into the twist. What does your head want to do in response to your knees or in collaboration? And what do you feel? What do you notice sensation-wise in your body? How would you describe that sensation in words to someone who maybe isn't able to do the movement? Whereabouts do you feel sensation? What kind of sensation is that? Yeah. Lovely. You're letting that left arm drop back to the earth. And at any point, if you want to try the movement where You are holding that extra sip of air into the lungs. And as you hold the breath, you make the twist with the knees and head. Yes, the head is just following along, resting on the ground or on your pillow. Spiky soreness melting. Beautiful.
I forgot what you do with the breath when you breathe in, you go back, you stretch with the breath, holding the breath, and I forgot what you do next.
Thank you, Cliff. I forgot to tell you.
What do I do now?
That's good. You make a lot of tension. Then you exhale and let it go. You can exhale out the mouth.
What, and keep the stretch?
Yes, keep the twist.
Right, and then back up.
Inhale back. Take a little more air. Hold it. Twist. Knees, head, release that left arm. When you get as far as you can go, exhale. See if you twist a little more. Maybe the body lets go a little more. Inhale, come back. And our last round, once again, is just to flop. As you exhale, let it go. Let the knees drop as best you feel you can. And it's fine if that left shoulder blade pops off the ground. Yes. Inhale, back to center, and exhale, flop. Nice. Okay. If you want to go again, you go again. If you feel ready to stretch out again, you can stretch out again. Yes. And yes, if you feel a movement that wants to be experienced, go for it. Just like Cliff was hugging his knees to his chest. Come to rest, and again, just let yourself have a moment here to notice what's here for you now. Is there a particular sensation? It might be your contact with the ground, or your length, or your width, or your weight.
Exactly, it's totally different from when we were like totally on the earth with the breath coming in, because it was much more down with breath. Now it feels to me like it's much longer. I feel much flatter, somehow longer outwards.
Lovely.
Something like that. I feel lighter on the mat, you know what I mean? Like I'm not so heavy on the mat.
And yet flatter.
Yeah.
Flatter and
yeah.
Thank you, Cliff. So just as Cliff announced out loud so he could hear it and we could all hear it too, please do that for yourself. What do you notice? Just speak it aloud if that's okay. Just so you can really hear it. You get your feedback, your biofeedback here. And this way of exploring where you're noticing your response is going to help you meet yourself. What do you like? How do you respond to things? You're getting to know yourself a little better through movement. So again, just check in with yourself if there's any movement that would like to have happened. Cliff, you were just moving your feet spontaneously. No one told you to do that, but the body is wanting us to hear it. So just see if there's anything, any movement, rolling onto your belly, standing up, could be anything, shaking, wiggling around, making a sound, could be anything. And let that movement shift you back up to sitting or whatever position you want to be in. Maybe you want to stay lying down for a final little tune in. Just settle yourself in. And once again, you can always come back to this awareness I am supported by the earth. Thank you all for your comments.
I just want to tell you, can I just tell you something that happened to me when we were lying down tuning into the earth?
Please.
I had the most amazing experience because we've been doing a lot. We did this whole thing about the climate emergency and everything we've been doing. We just been doing stuff about that on New Energy Work. We had a whole webinar series on it, and we've been working on our carbon footprint in the Shiatsu Center and stuff like that. So it's kind of on my mind. But when I tuned into the earth, I got this incredible feeling of calm and a sense of deep time, like like the whole human race is such a temporary thing on the earth, and it was like the earth it's just so much, it's just such an ephemeral thing, the human race, you know what I mean? I just got this sense of deep time in the earth, and I didn't tell you about that earlier because I just couldn't put it to words, but that feeling that I had in the chest was like when you really face what we're environmentally, you really face it, there is a lot of stress, there's a lot of scope for stress and everything. And but it was just an amazing feeling of kind of like what Cindy Engel said, the superpower of meditation, of being in that Taoist state where there's no judgment. And it was like the earth had no judgment. It just had this deep sense of time. And it was almost like it had a certain amusement about the human race and how frivolous it is. It was just the strangest feeling. I've never had that experience before. And I think it was just because you took us into that connection with the earth so strong, or something, I don't know. And that combination of the breath and the actual being. But anyway, I had to tell you about that because I've never felt anything quite like that before.
Thank you so much, Cliff. That's in that chapter 39 of the Suen. You tune into earth and heaven.
Right.
You have a sense of history, the sense of the passage of time and the evolution of things.
Right.
And then how that feeds into both of those things, coming to know who we are.
Right.
Exactly. And that just happened for you. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Well, the more we tune in, right, we'll be kinder to the earth and ourselves. I think the more we tune in.
Yep.
Whoa, moments of euphoria. Yeah. Yeah, in the middle of leg pains. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you all for these beautiful comments. Just in the maybe just to take another minute or two or three to tune in again. And let's just see what's here now that Cliff, you came back up to
Can I lie down again?
Some of you. Please do.
I really
yes.
feel like I really could do with that. I'll just let me just switch back to my lying down camera. Oh, there we are.
Yes, a calm feeling of just being.
It's funny, I don't need the pillow now.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. You might not need the kind of support you might have needed. Oh, yes. So simple. This was so simple, right? And in no time, feeling hips much looser. Yeah, lovely, inspirational. Yes, thank you all. Nest suspended, beautiful. So just coming to rest however you want, lying down or sitting or standing if you want. And again, just in this moment, just noticing what's here for you now. We've had a little cognitive stuff talking about the earth and hearing Cliff's experience. Just come into yourself one more time and notice what's here for you. And again, maybe a sensation, maybe a thought, maybe there's an emotion here, or an image, or a memory, or a dream from last night coming forward, just to see what's here now. and listen to it. If it's possible to give it some words of size or shape, location, color, sound. Maybe there's a smell or a movement that comes with that. Just let yourself bask in it. And if nothing comes, then there certainly may be thoughts. But just notice they're there. Doesn't matter what they are. Maybe they're thoughts of planning or fantasy or reminiscing. Just what's here for you now. Give it some words, speak it aloud. Or maybe if not words, a movement.
Yeah,
Or
I've just got
sound.
back into that place that I was in before, where it's spread out over my whole body again. But it's coloured by the the stretches we did. So I feel it's more kind of vibrant and more floating on the mat rather than just spreading out. That's what it feels like to me. It's a sort of sense of being, really, more than anything specific. Just a sense of being.
Just a sense of being more than anything else. Yes. Yes. Okay, keep resting. I'm going to read the poem again, and that will be give you some time, Cliff, to close us out. But here's the poem again. David White, Start Close In. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way to begin the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear that can really listen to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. I think we all can see too with our clients and with ourselves that often that step we don't want to take is to slow down and pause and just notice what's here for us now. And just face that with an open heart and curiosity and inquisitiveness. Those clean questions are so, so helpful if you ever have a chance to study with Nick Pohl or me and Nick or some other teacher. They can be so helpful to take that first step close in. Thank you all. Cliff, I'm sorry to awaken you from your,
Okay.
but I know you had something you wanted to share at the end.
Yeah. It all seems so unimportant now. In a state of being, I can't even get the right camera up. Here we are.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you so much. It's such a lovely contrast to the other three presentations. They've all been so interesting the way we've all fitted together. It's just been an amazing month. I've really enjoyed it. And thanks again to the AOVTA, especially Karen and Lisa for all your work, helping us put it together. And of course, it's not over yet because this recording will form the fourth part of the online course, and there's a link to it in the email that's going to come out any moment now. In fact, as soon as the video is processed, you'll get a link to it. And yeah, the only thing to do is to say, I've got a lot of people who are members, so just reminding you that next week we've got a treating young adults with complex needs professional development seminar. So it'd be great to see you there if you haven't registered for that already. And if you're not a member yet, you can always join us and join the fun. Just a wonderful community we've got here. So there we are, that's it. I can't believe it. What an amazing month. And thank you so much. I really have had some incredible experiences. I really have. That's going to take me, definitely going to take me some time to process them, I really think. And it's been, I think, a really, really useful help in a period really of so much change. It's so easy to get caught up in all of the stresses of what's going on. It's so important, I think, to have that time and feel that profound wisdom of those classics, So I'm going to join everyone putting a heart in the, I'm going to put a heart in the chat. If you like the seminar, I'm sure you'd like to do the same thing.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Okay, we have to stop. And like I say, once we've got the course completely finished, we'll obviously email everyone. Thank you very much for everyone who took part, and we'll see you on the next event. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks,
I'm going to close it
everybody.
up.
Thank you. Bye-bye.